the final guy, Barzillai. Barzillai the Gileadite had come down from the Rogelim, and he went on with the kings to the Jordan, to escort him over the Jordan. Barzillai was a very aged man, 80 years old. He had provided the king with food while he stayed in Mahanaim, for he was a very wealthy man. And the king said to Barzillai, come over with me, and I will provide for you with me in Jerusalem. But Barzillai said to the king, how many years have I still left to live, that I should go up with the king to Jerusalem? I am this day 80 years old. Can I discern what is pleasant and what is not? Can your servant taste what he eats or what he drinks? Can I still listen to the voice of singing men and singing women? Why then should your servant be an added burden to the Lord my king? Your servant will go a little way over the Jordan with the king. Why should the king repay me with such a reward? Please let your servant return, that I might die in my own city near the grave of my father and my mother. Here is my servant Chinham. Let him go over with my lord the king, and do for him what seems good to you. And the king answered, Chimham shall go over with me, and I will do for him whatever seems good to you. And all that you desire of me I will do for you. Then all the people went over the Jordan, and the king went over. The king kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned to his own home. The king went on to Gilgal, and Chimham went on with him. All the people of Judah and also half the people of Israel brought the king on his way. So we see him in chapter 17. He shows up briefly at the end of chapter 17. David, again, is fleeing. He's down on, I was going to say down on his luck, but he's down and out. And Barzillai, this older, wealthy farmer, says, well, sure, stay here. I'll feed you. And so he supplies him out of his own means and cooks for him and feeds his troops. It says that he has sustained the king. And then now the king comes back in glory, as it were, and says, now I want to sustain you. Come with me. Come live in the royal city. Live in the city of David. It's going to go good for you for the rest of your days. And Barzillai says, thanks so much for your offer. I can't hear very well. I can't taste very well. It's kind of wasted on me. Here's my servant, Chimham. Some people think maybe it's his son or whatever, but here's someone else. Just bless him instead of me. The honor that I deserve, I want to have that transferred to this man, Chimham. And does that not remind you of Jesus on both ends? On both ends? I've already quoted Matthew chapter 24, but in Matthew 24, Jesus says that the day is going to come when he's going to speak to people. And he's going to talk about how, I was hungry and you fed me. And then, come enter into the joy of your rest. He's going to say that there's going to be a record of works and acts done in faith and love, and that he rewards those. And that's really interesting. And here we see King David come and say, I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I had no place to stay and you gave me some place to stay. And he wants to reward him. So it's interesting. It just makes us think of the return of the real king. Matthew 24, check it out. It's good stuff. But then even the response of Barzillai. I always think Godzilla, but now you do too. I'm sorry. But even the response of Barzillai, he says, you know what, thank you so much. And yeah, my act of service, if you want to reward that, that's great. But you know what, reward someone else in my stead. I'm fine. Let me go live out my days and die and be buried by my fathers. But would you bless Chimham in my place? And that's just like the Lord Jesus too. He has a lifetime of perfect obedience to the law of God. Never straying, never going after the false king of Absalom or anything like that. Completely obedient for the entirety of his life. And the Father would say to him, there's an eternal reward for that. And the Son says to the Father, would you bless my people instead? Would you bless these messed up Christians down there? Would you give everything that I deserve to them? And we've spoken about it previously. It's the doctrine called union with Christ, where all the blessings of him are ours as we're joined in him and to him. And so we see an imperfect little picture of it right here.